ski on Gilbert Street, and I'm here with my friend Gregory Paul Johnson. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Greg is a year-round bike commuter?
Yeah, for the most part. I've been doing an experiment for the last 2 months to see what's involved in attaining the same level of convenience and effectiveness by trying to use a car. So this is kind of new for me, but in other words, I'm pretty much a year-round biker. I've been biking in Iowa City for the past 3 years without a car.
So what inspired you to try to become a year-round bike commuter?
I wanted a mode of transportation that was fast, that was convenient, that allowed me to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. Studies have been done that show the average speed of most motor vehicles in a city is about 10 to 12 miles per hour. Yeah, it's kind of surprising because you think, I have my car, I'll get there fast.
And then you think about parking, circling the block to park, and with your bicycle, I mean, it's a rare day that you can't find a place to park a bicycle.
Exactly.
So what have you seen as the advantages of introducing bike commuting as a major part of your life?
Well, certainly for me, I get the benefit of being outdoors year-round, which, you know, some people would wait till their vacation to do that. I figure, why not make every day a vacation, you know? So there's a benefit to that. Certainly the money savings. For Iowa City, the average car, and certainly it could be more, but for the average car, the cost is about $500 to $700 a month when you consider everything. The payments, gasoline, insurance, maintenance, repairs. You can buy a bicycle for $500 to $700 and that's it, you know, you own it. And certainly any repairs on a bicycle are going to be minimal compared to that with a car.
I imagine there's some major health benefits to being a year-round bike commuter.
Yeah, exactly. Beyond just being active every day, which burns some additional calories, gets your metabolism going up, you have that extra oxygen that you're breathing in, fresh air, rather than, you know, being inside cooped up in a gym somewhere. And you're building up some coordination that you might not otherwise be getting. So I lost about 100 pounds actually through just being more active, and biking is a big part of that.
So I've been trying to be a bike commuter year-round for the last couple years, and the first year I was really successful. It was a pretty mild winter. This past winter it was pretty icy, and I got a little discouraged and I didn't get out there as much.
Yeah, certainly biking tends to be in people's minds something that's seasonal. What I found was, as I started biking, that I preferred biking over driving a car, particularly in the winter months. Because if you think about it, you know, you go out to start your car, then you're scraping windshields, you're digging it out maybe, the roads are icy, you're more likely to get into an accident. There are some special bike tires you can get that have steel studs in them. So the bike tire will actually give you better traction on ice.
Snow tires.
Bike snow tires. In Iowa, speaking of the elements, we have such a wide variety of weather. You never know going out. It might be sunny, then it might rain. It might be cold, then it'll get hot. So if you're going to be doing the bike riding, you want to make sure you're not just really sweating in your good clothes or whatever. You may want to get a lightweight jacket like this one.
Does this shed water? Is this a
it
water
does.
shedding?
Breathable and waterproof or water resistant.
And so you probably carry this with you most of the time just in case.
Lightweight, folds up, it's small, you can put it in a backpack or a bike bag like this one. And what's key here is that the hood is very lightweight. Well, you'll want that in the colder months particularly. Put it underneath your bike helmet. It's waterproof then, it keeps you warm. So that hood's really important. Other things, you know, most people have to wear some level of either business casual clothing or something that you don't want to get trashed up from oil and water and grit on the street. So I have these elastic leg bands here. It goes around your pant leg. It helps to keep the pants from getting into the gears of the bicycle.
So as a technology consultant, I imagine there's a lot of gear you have to carry around, phones and all sorts of stuff.
Well, yeah, it's funny, in the early days, I was carrying around a cell phone that was the size of this bicycle bag. No joke. As the years have gone along, the technology's gotten smaller. So now what I use is this, you've probably seen these before, the iPhone. And this is my cell phone that used to be a big bag like this, is now replaced with this slim thing. And it's also a portable computer.
So, you know, I found a lot of excuses not to be a bike commuter. And one of them was, well, what am I going to do about toting my groceries around?
What I found was riding a bike really did influence my shopping, okay? When you have a car, you'll see something, you'll think, I'm going to buy that, I'll put it in the car, take it home. Without a car, there's a lot of stuff you don't need that if you're on a bike, you'll say, hey, look, I can't take that home anyway. With something like groceries, if you're riding the bike, you can get a few small items, put them in a backpack. For larger shopping items, you can get a cart or a wagon to pull behind the bike and that'll take care of most people's, laundry, groceries, shopping, those types of things. Put them in a wagon and you can just take that on home without a problem.
Well, thank you so much for joining us at
Sure.
Jeff's Bike and Ski. I mean, we walked around the store before the segment and saw all these beautiful bikes for sale, and I know that sometimes those things are outside of people's price range, and so I would hate for someone to be discouraged from biking because of the cost of a bike. Do you know of any lower cost options in town?
Well, certainly at your professional bike shops in town, the low end would be $200 to $400. That may seem a little bit of a stretch to people. There's another consideration as well. I've owned several bikes, a semi-recumbent, a mountain bike, a touring bike, a racing bike, all of these different bikes, and they've all worked to some degree or another for commuting. Each one's had its drawbacks. The bike that I've been riding now for about a year, I got at the Iowa City Bicycle Library. The advantage of riding an inexpensive bicycle is that you're not stressing about, is it going to get stolen? Is it going to get vandalized? These concerns then are not a problem because if you've spent $70 or $80 on a bicycle, you take good care of it, it'll get you from point A to point B. You can leave it overnight, you can leave it outdoors, you don't have to really worry about it. Whereas if you invest, say, $1,000 or $2,000 in a bicycle, you're going to be stressing about, is it getting the paint chipped, or can you leave it outside for a long period of time?
And I think for some people too, if they start off on a bike that they can afford and it gets them into it, if they become really in love with bicycling, maybe they do want to invest in a bike that they can do long distance riding on and things like that. So it really depends on the person.
Well, and here's the thing I've noticed in life in general, this is just one of these general life rules, is that let's say you have enough money, let's say you have $1,000 to either buy a car or buy a bike. Well, you can get a really rundown, unreliable car, right?
Right.
Or a really nice bicycle. Go with a really nice bicycle, right? I mean, why not have everything in your life of the highest quality possible? So just step down from thinking about cars to thinking about bicycles, and now you have a lot of options open.
That's great advice. So I hope that this was helpful to everybody out there to encourage them to get on their bikes. The weather's going to be good soon, and,
Oh, yeah.
and get riding.